Hey guys, this is going to be one of those first look, first cut test videos on this knife. And who knows, possibly a redemption for ANV, although I wouldn't hold my breath on that. As you know, I got this knife as a present. ANV A100, what makes it really special is that it has the Magna cut steel blade. They also have this version with LMAX, also with a black FRN handle scales, and I think the A200 has G10 handle scales. Which would be preferred? Now, I'm really happy that I got this knife as a present because at this point, Magna cut steel, everything that has Magna cut is pretty expensive. This model will run you up between 170 and 190 euros, which is a lot. But I'm really happy to have the opportunity to test this steel. As for the design, it is interesting. I'll give you that. And I have noticed they wanted to do something here. I would love to hear everything they wanted to do. I have my theories about a few things they wanted to do here. Some of them didn't really pan out. And I have the impression that for some things, they just cut corners. So the design is not really that good. The fit and finish, not that good. The initial sharpness was awful. If you are to look at it with a very positive attitude, you may say, well, I can see that they tried for something. But if you are to be a bit realistic, you will just see that, hey, they kind of cut corners here. They didn't have maybe as much experience. Maybe they didn't test this model enough. Now, I will also try to write them to see if they would possibly sell me some G10 handle scales, because that would be a major improvement on this knife. Now, this model is the Z200 with G10 handle scales, Sleipner steel, plain edge. This was the first knife from ANV that I actually wanted to buy, but I kind of put it off and put it off and put it off. And now that I have this one, I said, well, let's just get this one. This one runs you up about $100 euros less than this. It may be the steel, however, I wouldn't really hold my breath as far as redemption goes. You get the nice card in the box. The presentation is really nice. And then you get the knife. It had some glue residue on the pocket clip. I just got the knife today, so I didn't do a lot with it, but I did look at it about 10 minutes. This is the model. It has G10 handle scales. It has a liner on one side. Since this is a liner lock model, it has a liner here, and the liner comes all the way down. It has two screws, the pivot and the end screw, which also holds the pocket clip. So far, so good. Overall, it feels a bit heavier because it is more stable, more solid than this one. It is G10, and you guys know from cold steel, you don't need liners if you have G10 handle scales. Feels good. I mean, yeah, sure, you could round this off a bit, but from the get-go, brand new, it feels much better than the A100 FRN model did. It has, it doesn't have a hole in the blade or a thumb stud. It has this fuller. From my thumb isn't what it used to be, but I can't really flick it out. I mean, I can't do it. I can't do it with the middle finger very well. I can open it one-handed, left or right hand, and you can shake the blade open. So that's okay. I don't need quick access to a knife. If I can open it one-handed like this and then close it one-handed, that's okay for me. It runs pretty smooth. It runs on silicone Teflon washers. I have no issues with them. Like I have no issues with caged ball bearings or anything else. as long as they don't wear down. Now, we know that plastic, silicone, Teflon washers do wear down in a few years, depending on how much you use the knife, but they do make a knife be a bit smoother. This one also has a luminous dot here. You can see it. I like what they did with the logo, where they put the logo here. It says here, Acta non verba, and here you have the whole Z200 Sleipner made in the Czech Republic. A bit much of the writing, but I don't mind. I do like the way they put the logo in this fuller here. I think the design looks great, feels good, moves nice. It doesn't have a flipper. I think they have a version with a flipper if you are interested in that. I wanted this minimalistic design. One thing that ANV did fantastic is their wire pocket clip. For this one, it's good. I mean, even if it has red handle scales, there's a version with black handle scales, but even with this red handle scales, it does sit very deep in the pocket and you don't see the red handle scales. And check out how much deeper this will sit. And I think that's fantastic. I like wire pocket clips. I really like wire pocket clips, especially if they are, resistant. Like I have the Caribbean right here. This titanium pocket clip wasn't thought out too well, in my opinion. They should have made it a bit more resistant. Maybe a bit thicker, maybe a different material, whatever it is. It shouldn't just give out if you snag it on your t-shirt. And as long as you got, and Spyderco does do great wire pocket clips, as long as you have a very good wire from spring wire, whatever you want to use, I think wire pocket clips are great, and they are more comfortable than others. They can be more comfortable than others. So this, they did great. The minimalistic design I also like. Like I said, the overall shape of the knife, I think it's very attractive. The simplicity of it, fantastic. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of flow-through designs, open back designs, because my keys will eventually start nipping at the blade. But it is much easier to clean, and I do appreciate, like I said, the minimalist design. Very comfortable. Now, let's get to sharpness. Printer paper. It is slightly sharper than the A100 was. And that's not saying much. Does it shave? No. It does not shave. Not by far. Edge angle. Let me just line it up with the camera so you guys can see it. It's about here. And that's where, that's pretty steep. You guys can see it, right? I dropped the edge angle on the A100 down to here. Here, that's where we are. This one is here. A lot, and on this side, around here. So a lot. There's gonna be some work to be done to this edge. Thickness behind the edge. Now, depends on which side you want to go on. The edge width on this side is about 1 millimeter. The edge width on this side is about 1.5 millimeters. So, sharpening leaves a lot to be desired. Behind the wider edge, we're sitting at about this much, 0.55 millimeters. That is about 22 thousandths of an inch at such a very steep edge angle. When you reduce that, you'll go a bit up the blade, and it's going to be maybe 0.5, 0.6 millimeters behind the edge with a 15-degree per side edge angle, which is not stellar, which is done so much better with a lot of other companies. I'm not the biggest fan of liner locks. I've been carrying the Bradley 2 for the past 2+ months, and this one's a liner lock, and it doesn't have a cutout for it. It can be uncomfortable. Personally, I like it. I prefer comp locks, axis locks, triad locks, but rather than a frame lock, I prefer a nice, decent liner lock, and I like this one. I don't like the sharpness of the knife, the initial sharpness, the edge angle, the fact that one edge bevel is wider than the one on the other side. It is pointy, at least that was printer paper. This is thinner paper, and you can still cut it if you do it in a slicing motion, but this is not really a very sharp knife. Let's break down a box. Doing that with the A100 was not the most pleasant thing. This one, from the start, it slid. So the edge is not very sharp, and it is very thick. And look at it, bunches the cardboard up horribly. And I'm going with the grain here, so the easiest cut you can make, cardboard on the blade. And I did manage to poke myself in the finger right here, but no blood. Which is good, I guess. That the tip isn't very sharp. So now we're looking at 4/8. And yes, we went through, but with a lot of effort. It really dug into my hand. What I can tell you that I appreciate here, there is no jimping. I like that. I like the fact that we don't have any jimping. I must say, I like the model. I think the design is great. Just the overall fit and finish is severely lacking. Severely lacking. You have a very stout blade, and you can feel it, and the spine of the blade is rounded, which I like. I mean, you have a lot of knives which have a straight spine, and I put those straight spines on work test knives because they can be very useful when you want to scrape something with the spine of your knife. But like in this case, I ended up rounding it because it's more comfortable this way. You can put your finger on the spine. At some point you might need it, or you want to choke up on it, and you don't want to run into very sharp 90-degree edges. And this one is nice and rounded, and I like that. That is one detail that I like. It feels very, very good in hand. It feels very solid in hand. Now, if the grind would be a bit thinner and the edge angle a bit smaller, and it had a decent edge, I paid $76.25 for this one. So 76.25 euros in dollars. Probably if you're in the States, you're gonna pay about the same, 1-to-1 euros to dollars. You guys in the States are a bit more fortunate. In that regard, but yeah, it's not a bad price. But if it the fit and finish would be a bit better. And I'm talking about just the edge angle and not even edge thickness. Just put a lower edge angle and give it a good edge. I would say it's okay, but it's not. As it is. But you know what? Just doing this, grabbing the knife like this and pushing into the cardboard to cut it, it just feels very, very stable. Just the Bradley does have a very good feel to it. Okay, you can see how quickly this one cuts because it actually has an edge. But the Z200 just feels more solid when you want to do this kind of cut, even if the effort is much, much larger. Guys, you know what? This model I like, but in no way is this knife a redemption for this knife. For fit and finish, I can't say that this was a lemon, that I got a knife that wasn't, a lot of people say, when you get a knife that's not that sharp, maybe you just got a lemon. And I like to point out to Spyderco, because I got a lot of Spyderco knives which weren't very sharp. And a lot of people said, oh, no, those were just lemons. And I get too many lemons. I would have too many lemonade stands open if that was just my luck. I got 2 knives from ANV. One was a present, one I bought for myself. Both had a very crappy edge from the get-go. This one, 76 euros. This one, plus 100, plus minus. I don't know how much exactly it was, but it was in that range, which is a lot. Both had a crappy edge. Both had an obtuse edge angle and a very thick grind. So as for fit and finish, the G10 version is a bit better, but yeah, I wouldn't call it fantastic. For the price, if it would have just, the people who sharpened it, if they would have spent, I don't know, 5 extra minutes on it, I would have said for 76 euros, this could have been a good buy. I don't know anything about how they heat treated the Sleipner, not sure, but it has a lot going for it. I'm very curious about this model now. This one, I'm solely interested in the steel and to see if ANV will actually send me some G10 handle scales. I hope they do. I doubt they will. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please let me know. I'd love to hear them, and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.